Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we will discuss about another topic related to Cobol, where we will learn how we can read the data from a physical file using Cobol. Prior to this session, we have already discussed like how to declare physical file in a Cobol program. So this session is just in the continuation of the same, where we will take one step further and we'll see how we can read the data from the file which we discussed and declared in last part. Okay. So before we start the session, I just want to recommend you to go and check out the previously released sessions first, because these all sessions or playlists are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow them sequentially, then it would be really very easy for you to understand the ongoing topic, because as I mentioned, like these all sessions are connected with each other. For example, like if we talk about today's session, then today we are going to talk about how we can read the data from physical file. But prior to that, you should know like how we can declare the physical file that we have already discussed in the last session. So that's why it is very important to go with the flow and understand the things in a sequential manner. Fine. So now we have already one program created over here, which is TSCBPGM98. So I'm going to take this program in edit mode, and then we'll see like how we have kept it. Like in last session, we completed the code till declaration part. So post that, we are going to start with the demo in today's session. Okay. So let me take option 2 here for the edit mode. Here you can see these are the all things that we have discussed in last session, and I just changed the comment from declaring physical file to reading physical file, and rest all things are same, where we discussed about environment division. We started with identification division, then comments, environment division, input output section, file control. Then we discussed like how we can declare the file and how we can specify its structure, and some of the useful variable that we will use today. Later on, like we printed one text only in procedure division, that file is declared. So I removed it for now, because today we are going to write main logic after this procedure division. So let's start with the discussion. But before that, let me show you the data as well, because some of you might be directly referring this session. So just for those persons, I'm going to take my query here, select star from Sharmit1 slash empf1. So this is the file where I have declared 5 records. So these are the records which we are going to read one by one through Cobol program. So now I'll take option F2 again on my program and will write the code from scratch. So these things are declared and used already. Okay, fine. So let's insert few blank line first here, because we need some set of lines. Okay, so before we start writing the code, what are the basic steps that we are supposed to follow for reading the data from a file? So the basic steps contain, first thing is declaring a file, which we have already completed. First step is declaring a file. Second step is opening a file. Third is verifying whether it is opened successfully or not. Fourth is reading the file, or you can say reading the data from file. And fifth is closing the file. Somewhere you will find that only generic steps are declaring the file, opening the file, reading the file, and declaring and closing the file. But I also include one more step here, which is verifying the file, because it is also very important, right? Okay, so let's start with one by one. So first step is already covered in last session, declaring a file. So now we will talk about opening a file. So to open any file in a Cobol program, you can simply write these keyword open file, then open file. After this, we will write here open input employee file. Okay. Now below to this, we will mention one if condition, because we have opened but we have not verified it. So it's time to verify. So you can say it's a third step. So if ws file status not equal 00, which is the alphanumeric field. Okay, so this is the variable which we declared in last session, and today we are going to use it for the verification of the query. Okay, so we are just checking if ws file status not 0, then in that case we will print one message, and with the help of display command. So here I will write display error opening employee file. Okay, so it will throw this message, as well as we will print the error status code, which is ws file status. Okay, so this thing we will print, and we are in an end if and statement, that's why we are not terminating it here. So we will just directly terminate it here, end if. Okay, so we are ready with this verification part. Now it's time to perform, means it's time to initiate the loop that we will that will help us to iterate the logic for multiple time. So here I will write the condition perform until ws of eof equal y, then read. Here we will read the file. Read. Firstly, I'm writing this code, and then I'll explain you what we are doing here. Okay, so employee file, and don't get confused like why we are using file name as employee file, because we have specified it, right? In the last session we specified, we give this name to emppf1. So whenever we want to access or read this file, we will use the same name. So here I will write perform until ws hyphen eof equal y, read employee file, and then we will mention here at end. Then here we will write move y to ws of eof. Okay, so this is at end condition. Now we will write not at end condition. So I'll write here not at end. So here I will print the required things which we want to print and read, like which we have read. So here I will write employee id emp id. Okay, then we will print again display employee name emp name, and then later after read we will write here end read. So here I will write end read, and after perform we will write here end perform. So I'll write end perform. Okay, then later on we will write here close perform, close, and the file name employee file. So this is the last step for any file processing. Now it's time to understand what we have written so far. So after till verification we have already discussed. So after that I'm checking, I'm running one condition perform until ws hyphen eof is y. So it will work, it will iterate till ws eof become y. Then inside this loop we are reading the employee file, and we are checking if the condition is at end, means if the file reaches at the end, then in that case we will move the y to ws hyphen eof, and once it is moved to y, it will terminate after checking this condition, because now it becomes y, so it will end from here, right? But if it is not at the end, then in that case it will print the data like this: employee id is emp id and employee name is emp name, and then we are reading end read. So one by one it will read till it reaches the end of the file. Clear? Once it reaches the end of the file, means it reaches ws eof equals to y, so it will simply go to the end perform. Okay, and this is the variable which we declared yesterday. Fine, so we are, or in the previous session, so we are ready with this. So once we came out of this, then we are terminating the file. So close emp employee file, and then the stop run for terminating the program flow. So let's compile the program and see if there is something wrong or we need to correct it, anything. No, it is perfect. So we have completely successfully compiled the program. So it's time to call it. So you can see it is printing the message employee id 01, name, then 02, its name, 3, name, 4, name, and 5, and its name. Okay, so this is what we were expecting from this program. It reads the data from EMPPF1 file and printed all employee ID and name. Okay, so yeah, this is how we can utilize the Cobol program in order to read the file or read the physical file in an IBM system. So yeah, that's all for today. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching TechSharmit.